So I haven't dropped a backtesting video in a little while, and the reason why is because I developed a few systems and was just, you know, not strategy hopping. It was the same strategy, but it was just looking at it for short-term trades or looking at it for day trades or scalping, um, and just trying to figure out exactly what would work for me because I don't like losing. I don't like, you know, doing backtesting sessions and losing. I want to backtest a strategy or backtest a system that makes sense that would allow me to, be profitable, would allow me to pass a 50K funded account, get a withdrawal, roll that into another account, etc. and etc. So literally all I was doing was writing down things, writing down approaches that I have in my head and how I come to the market, and then just scratching it, throwing it out, writing it down, scratching it, throwing it out, writing it down, scratching it, throwing it out. So what I ended up coming up with is a super, super, super simple system. Literally all I need is three time frames. Maybe, you know, not even maybe. Literally all I need is three times. I'll dive into it right now. Let me go over to here. So basically all it is three time frames. My daily is my hard time frame where I'm, basing it off of narrative. What are we respecting? What's currently in play, bullish or bearish? Hourly, I want to see one thing and one thing only. If I'm bullish on my daily time frame, I want to see a swing low get taken out or trade down into a fair value gap on the 1 hour. From there, on the 5 minute, what I want to see is either a full fill on a BISI or a SIBI and a change in state of delivery at that low that got taken out on the hourly, or if we trade down into a fair value gap. So I'll dive into it here. Let me go to the YouTube series and I'll just do like a 1 minute over here. Go to the daily. So basically, it's this, right? And it's literally super simple. It's like if I can't get this right, then it's done. But basically it's this, right? So we have a fair value gap here. Price fails to displace above it. We close through it. So targets are potentially these lows over here, right? These swing lows down here. Safe to say this may be the the draw on liquidity. No need to dive in and really hyper focus and oh no, this is a fair value gap and all highs are relatively low. No, keep it stupid fucking simple. Like I'm done with this shit, right? Boom, fair value gap right here, that inversed potential for bearishness. Right, we could see here, this is Wednesday, we came up, took out the previous day high, and then traded lower. So on hourly, we could see we have a high that we took out here on Tuesday. This is Asia. Price comes down, comes back up into this gap here, and then trade lower. So I would think that we come down to these lows over here. Now, what can we use to, bounce off of to trade lower? So what do I have over here? I have a mitigation block right here and a fair value gap that'll most likely get created. That is the 1 hour. Now this is 11 a.m., so it's a little outside of the window, but looking at it here, price came up, drove down. 9:30 is, excuse me, 9:30 is back here. So PM session most likely would come up into this gap and then trade lower. But once we do come up into this gap, I want to see either a full fill on a BISI trading lower, creating that change in state of delivery, or just a change in state right there. So if I were to pick a swing high that would be taken out, really none. And then I could just note this order block here on the 1 hour. And these are my two levels. These are my two areas of interest that I want to see price reverse at for lower prices, right? So we'll just continue this. See your price just drops. We have a fair value gap here that gets created. right underneath that 1 hour mitigation block, and it just drops, just continues to drop. There we go, taps up into that gap, but it is already lunch. Now there is a change in state of delivery, right? But because it's lunch, it can probably consolidate or come down into the gap here and then push higher. So go to the next day. Let's see what we're doing here. And the analysis was correct, right? Came up into the change in state of delivery here, taps it, and then drops off PM session. Beautiful, beautiful trade. Makes sense. Literally only took me 3 minutes. Like, there's no reason for there to be like, oh, second guessing and blah, 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 blah. Easy ass trade on a Wednesday. Now, what did we just do? We took out sell side liquidity, right? And we also took out some liquidity from back here. So, with that being said, what can we trade back up into? We have this order block right here that we could trade back up into. So I'll just put this as an old low for you know simple simpleness. So we just took out sell side liquidity down here. Now, do we have a change in state of delivery? Kind of do, but we do have a gap right here that we can trade up into. We also have this fair value gap right here that we fully filled. So what I would still want to see with price continuously being bearish, even on the higher time frame, I'm not going to pick a low. There's no reason for me to pick a low. So we're going to stick with bearishness. Drop down to the 5 minute. Now, one of two things can happen. We can either take out the high of the range or this high and potentially reverse if price is truly bearish. Let me get that right on it. There we go. If price is truly bearish, then we're going to run out this buy side liquidity here, form a change in state of delivery, and then push lower. So let's see what we do. 9 a.m. It's going to be a little bit, so I'll just go ahead. This is right 9:15. That was 9:30. Price pushes up, run out the buy side liquidity there. Do we continue higher? We do. Trade up into that hourly gap. Now, do we get a full fill on this BISI right here? This is what I'm looking at. If we get a full fill here and we close below here, that would be, I would look at that as a change in state. And we could look for the lows. And this is 10:15, so we're in good timing. Yep, easy taking this trade. Exactly right after we took out that buy side liquidity here on the range. I want to take this sell setup right here. Stops above the high. Targeting 1 to 2, 1 to 3. So I'll go right here to these lows. Place the order. Go 0.5%. Save. Zoom out a little bit. 5 minute fair value gap gets created right there at that open. Let's see if we get a little rally up into it. Here we go. Yeah, price looks like it's going to stop us out, so I'll close out here. There we go. We get stopped out. Cool. No worries. Next trade. This was Thursday. Let's see what Friday does. Okay, so price ended up pushing a little higher up into that daily order block. Remember where I put that old low? Pushed up into that daily order block and then dropped lower again. Let me go up to my weekly real quick, see what areas we can target. We have this rejection block over here. So still bearish, still looking for lows. No need to reverse a position, reverse a full setup. So we have this swing high up here that we could take out and look for bullishness, especially after running out the low here. Price is most likely going to retrace. We just want to retrace into an area that we can reverse at. So on a 5 minute, you could look here, and it's Friday, so may not need to take a trade, but we'll just let it play out. Go, price pushes up, continues to push up, continues, takes out buy side there. May not get a change in state though, but let's see what happens. Okay. Looks like we form the order block there. Start to get that displacement, fulfill on the inefficiency there. Fair value got created. Trend line of liquidity right there. You got, and price takes out those lows. That makes sense. I didn't want to take it because it was Friday, but this is a beautiful trade. This is the exact example that I'm looking for. So there's the re-entry, but the optimal one is this right there. So once that candle closes right there, change in state, boom, stops above the highs, targeting lows, 1 to 3, gets met. But let's go to the next week. And these are day trades. These are like in and out scalps, in and out day trades. So keeping it nice and structured, nice and simple. So daily, what are we doing? Where are we? So we just took out some lows, looking like we're failing to displace a little lower. Took out this low and this low. So could be pushing a little higher, maybe to this high. And we have an order block right here as well. So this may be the draw. Going down to the hourly, let's see how price is moving. Yeah, so looks like price may want to push a little higher. Took out some lows here, shifted structure here, took out the low, took out this high, failed to take out this low, and post higher into this inefficiency, closing above these highs here. So now currently supporting bullish PD arrays. So we have this gap right here. Now, if I'm bullish, I would want to see price push up higher, maybe trade up into this gap up, this order block up here as like a bullish target and push higher. So what I would want to see is a run below these lows over here. And change the state, price starts trading lower a little bit. There's 930, I believe. Yep. Trades down into that hourly fair value gap. I mean, make the note. Oops. No change in state. No change in state. Potential right here. 10 a.m. Price pushes higher significantly. And we have this order block that should have resisted price there, resists price here, but then gets blown through. Uh, see if we can get it in fair value gap here. Boom. So this right here is a trade that I would like to take. Looking for the buy inside of this gap, stops underneath these lows, targeting higher prices. So this setup would be a 1 to 2. So I'll take this right here, save, zoom in. We get triggered in. Looks like we're moving around break even. Price closes below this low here. If we get a full fill and full rebalance of this gap, then you may look for getting out. Yeah, closing out now. All good. Next session. And I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna win. So it's only a matter of how. So I just wanted to double check, make sure that the speakers was good, mic was good. Yeah, going up to my daily. So price ended up trading lower on here, so looks like I was picking a low. But let's see. Let's continue. Have some lows here. I believe this is 2020, if I'm not mistaken. Well, 2018. I have a bunch of these lows over here that we can use to target hourly. Have some relative equal highs up here. We could take out. We have a gap above us, but looking at price, what are we doing? We're respecting what? Bearish signatures. Ran above Friday's high here, displaced lower, leaving open inefficiencies, shifting structure here, order block created, fair value gap, and we have a order block here. So one of two things can happen. We can one run into this fair value, run into this order block, and respect it and trade lower, or run above these highs and run above the highs and reverse at that level. Let's go to a 5 minute. Just looking at the 5 minute, I mean, this looks like it may continue lower before even pushing higher. So let's see, this is 9 a.m. Yeah, looks like it's just gonna drop. Yeah, that mean it was already there. 9:25. There goes 9:30. 9:30 trades all the way up into that buy side liquidity pool. Disrespecting that. Taking out some buy side liquidity. Just looking at price and looking at the current daily candle, this may be looking to push higher, especially with the run above below these lows here, trading into this fair value gap and pushing higher significantly. I may want to look for buys in this particular setup simply because it is showing those signs of bullishness. Go to hourly, you can see created that hourly changing state to go hunt for buy side, finding support at that low there. So who am I to stick with the bias, right? I've got to be fluid and flow. So this fair value gap I'm looking at for potential buys. I'll go right here, stops right here underneath these lows that we took out. I want to target the gap, something like that. Place order, 0.5%. So you get triggered in. Price trades away bullishly, taps the gap again. Looks like we're going to get stopped out. And we do. Gotcha. Took out these highs here and just failed to displace higher. That's exactly what happened. Failed to displace higher. Looks like we're going to get an inverse fair value gap here to trade lower, continue lower. Maybe not. Yeah, not the best day right there, but it is what it is. Small losing streak here, keeping everything around 350, 400 bucks, which is only 0.4%. So keeping it semi low there. But looking at price now, let's go to, I think that we're on the next session. Yeah, go to next session. Gotcha. So See if we want to take this out. I'm bearish though, so let's continue. I will want to see if we could take these out here. We do have a trend line of liquidity here on the highs, but let's see, where am I in price? Current range from this high to this low. What are we approaching? Approaching some premium arrays like these up candles are your order block. And you have your buy side up here. So let's see what happens inside of this this blue box in here. That's your hourly order block. Let's see. Above that high there. Looks like we're gonna push up again. Yep. Continue to push up during 9:30's open. Looks like we're gonna take out that buy side liquidity on the hourly. And we do snatch that. Continue to rally higher. May not get a trade on this day. Get a change in state here. Fulfill on this inefficiency. I'd want to take this trade for a sell. I want to take this right here. Stops a good amount. I'll put my stops right there. I want to target like a 1 to 2, 1 to 3-ish. Place order. Save. Let's see what this does. Couldn't get a retracement. What time is this? 11:25. This may not be good. Fulfill. All right, let's move stops a little bit to the order block. Looks like we're dropping down even lower, so gonna move. Actually, no, we're gonna leave it. Let it hit. Move my stops into profit. I would want to see this hold here, this order block and this gap here. So ideally, I would put stop loss right there in profit. See how we react around here. I like that reaction there. There we go. Nice drop. Wow. Swerved by a few wicks. So I'm just gonna get out because it's already noon. So we're just gonna close out there. Good little profit there, 500 bucks, whatever. Next trade. This was okay because we took out that higher time frame buy side liquidity and got, you know, I saw it from here with the change in state and the fulfilling this inefficiency. The shift here, fair value gap there to trade lower. Um, let's see. Go up to a hourly or daily. See how we move. Daily. Yeah, it looks like we just wicked around it. Not really doing too much around it. So that was just a high of that day that formed. Looks like we're in a little bit of a range right here from this low to the high up here. So, I mean, buy side. This is sell side. So we're above buy side liquidity. The week opened here, go up to a weekly chart, see where we're at. So right now it's an open, form the low, form the high, and it is Wednesday, I believe. Just looking at this here, I'd say this old low should have resisted price, but because we're now above it, you could potentially use it as support, especially with it forming and creating an order block right here to push up for buy side up here. Previous week high is right here. Yeah, so let's see. The lack of displacement from running out this high lets me know that we may still push higher. So let's see if we can get a run on some lows and then a rally higher. This is sell side. We have news at 10 a.m. Let's run this through. Yada yada yada. Here's 9:30, most likely. Yep. 9:30 pushes higher and starts dropping. Nice, nice. This is all before news. News is in the next candle. Generated generated buy side liquidity, relative equal highs up there. This is 10, right? No, this is 10. Okay, let's see if we run that sell side down there. Nope. Still nothing. No trade yet. Still nothing. This is buy side. Looks like price is just going to push up to buy side liquidity before anything. Ran out these lows. Change in state was up here. And get your fair value gap to push higher. We do generate some relative equal lows here now. And we have some highs up here that we could take out. Potentially reverse if we are still looking for bearishness. But get the run on those highs there. And this is all out of kill zone now, so let's just push up to the higher time frame. Go to next session. There we go. Running out those highs now. So on the daily, what we're looking like is we ran out previous week's high. Looks like we're kind of does look like we're struggling to trade and close above it, but on an hourly, we have this down candle before the up move, and we have a gap right here. So one of two things can happen. We can support this gap or, excuse me, trade through it to south side. So let's see what price does. Looks like we're just going to trade straight through this. 9:25, 9:30 opens. Looks like we find a little bit of support inside of that, but we end up trading straight through it, finding resistance at this city, which is fine. We're still inside of the range, so looking like a potential no trade. Running out buy side, can look for the lows. We have a huge change in state of delivery. These 1, 2, 3, 4 up candles before the down move here. It's like on 4 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, the 7 is your change in state. Yeah, there you go. Fair value gap right there. But this fair value gap here makes sense, especially at the inverse of the hourly gap. So I'd look to take something, especially running out some buy side here. Something along the lines of this. targeting these lows down here. Something that I like to see. And we'll risk 500 because we just made 500. See what we can do here. Looks like we just resist this initial fair value gap and then just tank. The draw is there. The draw makes sense. It was just the the blah blah blah. It was just a array that we chose. But looks like TP ends up getting tagged. Plays around at the open, it's lunch, whatever. But ends up, doing what it needs to do, trading lower to sell side. So if I'm betting on it on the daily, looks like a doji. Nice. You trade down into this gap here. So let's see. Next day. Nice. So I would want to see price after running out this high here. I would want to see price continue lower, especially resisting this order block. We resisted that order block on an hourly. We have our hourly change in state of delivery. These last three up candles before this down move that took out some buy side here and respected that higher time frame order block. I have my gap right here. I would like price to trade into and away from. But looking at this here, this looks lovely. This looks like it can already start trading lower from this breaker right here. So let's see if we get a reaction from that. Let's wait. 9:30 opens up and drops, continuing the decline. I mean, it made sense as to why it was going to sell off. So good on that. Continues to sell. So that's good. Fair value gap right there. Or the full entry drill. But that's those are the sells right there. Let's push over until the next day because this looks like it's just gonna continue dropping. So scroll up. Time frame, go to next New York session. Nice. So because looks like we failed at this level here, tapping this old low and this order block here, we may be in a little consolidation between these two arrays. So on an hourly, what does price look like? Price is playing around. I mean, FX replay is playing around. Here we go. So looking at it, traded down below this low here, below PM's low. Trades down here, fails to push higher, finding resistance at this order block. Now that it's finding resistance at this order block, what I would personally like to see is if we can run these relative equal highs up here and then push lower. And if not, if we could run these highs up here, then looks like we're pretty good. And you got a fair value gap right here as well. So something to look into with as well being Tuesday. Oh, that was Friday's action. Okay. Okay, and then if we're looking at it from like a one shot, one kill standpoint, then there's that too. Yeah, if we're looking at it from a one shot, one kill perspective, we resisted this order block on the weekly candle. On this weekly candle, like on each one, you can see on this particular one, the high was created after running out liquidity. On this particular week, the high was created after trading into an inefficiency of some sort. This one, inefficiency of some sort. This one, inefficiency, maybe running out. This one, inefficiency, trading into internal range liquidity, order block, or fair value gap. So same thing on these ones. And if we drop down into a lower time frame, you can see this high was created after running into a fair value gap. This high was created after running out buy side. This high ran out this Monday's high, but traded into a fair value gap, order block. So, I mean, might be a little mad scientist y, but weekly highs are most likely going to form after running out buy side or running into a fair value gap or an order block on internal range liquidity. So if we're internal currently, I would want to see a high formed somewhere here, like this order block, or pushing lower. So like we see here, we took out liquidity and formed a low. You can see that there. Took out some liquidity and formed a low. But the high is still internal. So what I would like to see is if we find support here at this daily inefficiency, we push up for the buy side, take those out, and then drop lower daily. So Monday was a no trade, I believe. No, Monday would have been a potential trade if I got a retracement because we ended up dropping down. Now Tuesday, let's see if we can get the run on some buy side and then push lower. Nice, nice push higher into that fair value gap. Took out buy side. Looks like we're starting to stall just a little bit. But we took out buy side here. We do have some gaps above us as well, like here. So we can take that into account of what price can trade up into. But the way we closed on this hourly lets me know that we may continue higher, especially looking at it from a bigger lens. Higher low, lower low, higher low, swing low to push up into highs. So this daily inefficiency may be supporting price for higher prices. So we may have formed a low, right, on internal range liquidity, looking for external or opposing internal. So let's see what price does. Do get a mini change in state, but I don't really like the way it's forming. Yeah, this may not even play out. Just like on the 15 minute, I mean, just looking at it. Yeah, they're consolidating above a high. Ends up dropping, but mm-mm. 1050. Yeah, we're looking like we're not gonna approach start, you know, ideal time. Traded into a fair value gap, old high here, change state there, potential for fair value gap right there. Could be something to push higher. I take this trade. I'll take this at this fair value gap in this order block. Stops at about 25 points, looking for the highs up here. We'll go right to that gap. Let's go hourly. Let me see what price is looking like. Yeah, it traded down into this hourly fair value gap as well. We got a mitigation block here. Form that order block there. Kill zone time, man. Mm, mm. Here, because I'm iffy, I'll skip this day, see what happens. Yeah, we looks like we would have ended up getting stopped out or not. Yeah, this is all lunch. Like we would have been holding it all throughout that. I'm not going for that. So let's push up higher to a hourly. See where we are at. Yeah, so price ends up pushing higher. Not at our ideal level where we're taking a trade, but running out 11 a.m. low into the order block here, pushing up higher for the highs. So we have this previous week high that is on the menu. Buy side liquidity up there. We have this fair value gap that we can use to look higher. So I want to see a low formed inside of this gap. We can even come down into this gap or maybe run below these lows because those are relatively equal. And on an hourly, yeah, those are some nice swing lows that I would like to take out if we can, and then push higher. So let's see. 9:10. Looks like we have news at 11:30. This is the 1 hour. This is 9:25. 9:30 opens, pushes higher, change in state right here. Those lows look way too clean for me, so that would have been a good trade right there to push higher. Yeah, I baited. Could have taken this trade. I baited. That's on me. That is on me. Should have took the risk. That is all on me. That's a beautiful 1 to 2. Potential 1 to 3 because it pushes higher for the previous week. Yep, that's on me. That was a beautiful trade. I baited and was pussy and didn't take it because I was scared these relative equal lows would have got taken out. But price ends up running 1 to 3. So that's on me. Should have taken that trade. That would have been a great trade to take, but pussied out. All good. Next day, let's see what happens. It runs even higher. Yeah, that's a beautiful setup, beautiful trade right there. One shot, one kill type vibe. But let's see. This is 9 a.m. We have a swing low right here, especially after running out that high. Old high right here. And we have sell side right here. We could run these lows and then push higher. Let's see what we do. This looks like it's 9:30. Yeah, no, not taking it. There's no reason as to why it's failing that close to those lows, unless it's generating buy side liquidity. It's generating sell side liquidity. Yep, no trade on this Thursday. Let's go up to a higher time frame. Go to next New York session. Price ends up trading a little lower underneath the lows in this high over here. On a daily, we traded down into this inefficiency here. First, let me take these off. We trade down into this inefficiency. Hmm. If these order blocks right here, price can find support at inside of the daily inefficiency. If he can run below this low once more and get a change in state somewhere there, that'll be good. And it's Friday. This looks like 9:30. There's the run. Looks like we're going to continue running lower. Hourly. Yeah, continue to run lower. Yeah, no trade day for Friday. Looks like it just continued running lower. So let's delete everything, go to the next session. So now we can look at our weekly. You can see what's on the menu. Took out some highs. So we opened, formed a low, came up, took out some highs, and then failed to drop a little lower. So we have these over here. Supply side liquidity I got taken out on a daily. And if I'm looking at my weekly, right, we took out a weekly high here, and we took out two weekly highs and traded up into looks like a gap or an order block of some sort here. After taking out that high, which would be like a gap right here, this inverse fair value gap. So we could possibly trade lower to this low over here. That's what I'll be looking at. So on the hourly, any like gaps that are like on the menu, I'd say it's like this high, maybe for sure this low. She already took out. It's like this order block supported price. So this low is on the menu, and then highs. So let me note that, note this, buy side, note this, sell side. All right, so now we're on the hourly. We just took out sell side, took out Friday's low. See what we could do here. So I'll just let this candle play out. So that's 9:30's movement. Here's 10. Yeah, this is all 9:30. We drop down, trading straight towards sell side. Taking out a ton of sell side. Yeah, no trade on Monday. I may even make that a rule, especially if I'm looking at it from this perspective of like week to week trading using the hourly week like intraday, because this would have been a nice like one shot one kill, enter in on a 5 minute, hold it, let it play out. um so could have taken that, but moving forward into this week, we took out the previous week's low. All right, we took that out. Now we're underneath some sell side liquidity. We can push higher for a gap, all right, of some sort, like this. Take this out, mark this up. If we're truly bearish, I mean truly bullish. Now looking at it, we have a change in state right here on the daily. So that lets me know that we may still continue to push lower, but we do have a gap here, this volume imbalance that we can take a peek into before dropping lower. So what I would like to see is like a run into this up here and then a trade lower. So I'll use this as like an old low. We'll go ahead and let this play out. This is 925, 930 rallies, beautiful, nice. That's what I want to see. Nice. Now this may be a little bit of a risky one, almost like some turtle soup type vibe, but I'll take it. Let's take the risk. And my stop will go above this. Targeting relative equals there, there, relative equals here. We'll go 1 to 3 on this trade. Wait, hold on. We just took out a low. Yeah, we just took out a low. I don't know how I feel about this just yet. Let me wait. Then again, you see, this is the problem that I'm having. This looks clean, it makes sense, but I want to wait for more action. Could have been in it, and see, like it could have just played how it played. Could have taken the trade and it do what it needed to do, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm playing scary or if I'm hesitating or scared to lose. I definitely am scared to lose for sure. For sure, I know I'm scared to lose, especially at times. But this right here, I'll take this. It is at um kill zone. It's out of kill zone a little bit, but there is gap here. We just ran out some buy side, chopped into a hourly fair value gap. Let me see the 1 minute. And yeah, like it could work. I mean, it's just like fuck. Worst that could happen, we lose. I'll go 25 points and I'll just look for some lows. So I'll go 1 to 2 around there. And as price drops off, then I'll adjust. But looks like we're gonna take this trade at 11:30, so I'm not gonna take it at all. I'm not gonna take it. So I would have been stuck in some range, but ends up playing out nicely though. Can't lie. Ends up playing out nicely. Hmm. Next trade probably takes out the lows during PM. That's on me. I like this reaction off the order block. Took out some buy side. I'd want to see some runs lower. Run out buy side if we can get nice full fill on this inefficiency. 925. 930s right here. Oof. I like that. I like the way that did that. Yeah, I want to take part in this right here. Right here at this. this fair value gap on the 1 minute. Stops above this high that got taken out. I'll go 1 to 3 on this trade. Let's see what we could do. Place the order. Save. Get tagged in. Price drops. Continues to drop. Continues to drop. Nice. I like this drop. Stops to break even or a little bit in profit. Risk is off the table. I want to see this daily open be used as resistance, especially fully filling in this inefficiency here. Nice. 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 Beautiful trade. Beautiful trade. This is what I wanted. This is what I was looking for. This is the example right here. This is it that I've been waiting for the whole fucking session. This is it. 1 to 3. Ran out buy side. Change in state of delivery. Entry at the order block. Take it lower. Not any entry at the order block. There was a run above buy side liquidity. Shift here. Shift here. I mean, change in state of delivery. Shift at the market structure shift at this swing low, retrace to the order block. In 1 minute, there's this fair value gap that price was at, and you could take that and trade lower. Now, could I have held using my stop, like put my stop above this high and then continue it lower? Maybe. See, but I like that. That's a good trade. Nice Wednesday trade right there. Next session. Let me go up to a higher time frame. What am I at? Oh, 57. I thought it wasn't recording for a second. It said 15. I was about to bug out. Alrighty. So Wednesday ended up closing off bearish, clean. That's what I like. But looking at the weekly, right? Again, open, high, low, close. The high is formed where? Inside of gap or order block because it didn't take out liquidity. High formed inside of a gap right here. Didn't take out any liquidity, so it's just gonna roll over. Still looking for the rejection block of those lows over there. Um, I like these. At least this one. Maybe this high up here. Buy side. 5 minute. Gotta go outside and check the lights on my car. So this will probably be the last like trade or at least the last week that we do. So let's see. 9:30 opens. Where? Oh, 9:38 didn't even open yet. It just dropped like that. 9:25. Here's 9:30. So hourly real quick. Yeah, it looks like we're just gonna tank. Yeah, it looks like we're just gonna run out those lows, which is good. That's what we wanted to see. Oh, come on, take out some buy side. That's crazy, boss. They didn't want to take out any buy side liquidity. They just tanked and dropped. Cool. That was good though. Ends up, doing what it needs to do. This would have been a good trade right here. Running out a 5 minute high. 5 minute swing high ran there. Get a 5 minute change in state. You get an entry there. That would have been clean, but let's take it one step at a time. Go to Friday. Boom. So we got Friday here. So after the run on the liquidity, we know that the low of the week has been dialed in now because we took out some sell side, especially taking out sell side here and bouncing up higher. So with that information, what I'm going to do is look for a buy on this Friday. So we have a, I don't know, I think ICT calls it like the TGIF, some shit like that. I don't know. But this looks clean. Running on these lows, fulfill on the inefficiency, change in state of delivery, fair value gap left open. There's potential here. Relative equal highs, there's potential here. 925, fair value gap entry. 930 should spike. Oh, looks like we tapped the, what was this, the order block again. You get a shift here on this swing high. So I'd want to take this buy right now, especially with it being after. And we failed. So this is why I'm taking this, and I'm targeting these highs up here. This is why I'm taking this. Ran out sell side liquidity here, created a short term high, dropped down short term low. After running out these, we expanded higher bullishly, filling this in, shifting this here. Left this open. We came down into these two gaps. If we were truly bearish, we would have, taken out this low here. But because we failed and we closed back above this high here, lets me know that we can push higher. So I take this, place the order, 50%. Yeah. Let's see if we can get a retracement of some sort. If we create a fair value gap, then I'll adjust it. But mm, looks like there's a fair value gap. Yeah, that's the fair value gap entry right there. That's the fair value gap entry right there. All right, that's it though. Took a couple losses. So on this, we took one. I think this one counted two. Not sure, but I know I did one, two, three. This was like about maybe 1200, 1200, then made 500, and then 14 or 15. So basically lost 1200, made 2 grand. So ended up profiting what, 800 bucks in the session. So not bad, but literally the last trade before this one is the example that I'm looking for. So framing that weekly range on my weekly, daily, and 1 hour, and executing on the change in state on the 5 minute. And this is just me being in the session and thinking about it, is bring back the entry protocol after tapping into a high or a fair value gap. Bring back the entry protocol because this is it right here. This is the protocol. 1 hour fair value gap or 1 hour order block. Run below the low. Shift structure here. Ideal entry would have been at this fair value gap, but wait for 930 to close. So 930 ends up closing here and coming all the way down here, failing to make a new low, displacing back above this swing high. So the fair value gap that was created here, this mitigation block, should have been the entry to take out relative equal highs and fill in that gap there. But that's it on the day. So I'll go ahead and put this up and get back to you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we can bring this account back to life, bring it back to its principle of 100K. So that's it from me. Damn, the room was dark. I didn't even know. But yep, I'm out of here. Next time. See you.